Hi everyone. I'm just making sure my computer is up. I can see that we're live and that I'm here. You can hear me. I'm hoping you can hear me. If you can let me know that you can hear me and see me okay, we will get started in just a second. Hi Lisa. Oh, I should probably mute my computer so I don't hear myself twice. Seems like I do that a lot around here lately. Hi, Samara. All right, thanks for coming. So tonight we are going to be working with the fruit stand kit. Don't be confused with the fruit basket kit. Now our fruit basket kit is a little bit older but still full of wonderful fruits that you can still use today. Today is going to be the fruit stand kit, and it has varying fruits, different fruits than the fruit basket kit. And I'm going to say these might even be a little bit larger, but maybe not. Maybe not. This one has one that I think is fantastic, and it's the banana. And I've been to the zoo, so you can assume that I'm going to be doing a layout with my monkeys or apes or whatever, maybe with some bananas. So maybe I'll get to share that with you guys soon, I hope. So tonight, again, like I said, it's going to be the fruit stand kit. I'm glad you guys are all here and that you can hear me. Here is the paper pad for the kit, and of course you're seeing this backwards. If you can read backwards, fantastic, but look at the colors in this kit. I'm going to break this down for you in just a second. I just wanted to get a group of you here before I turned my camera up to the camera mount and pointed it down at the project. So in the announcement that we were going to have an event for you this evening, I said, or I made a comment about a week ago, or a poll of what you thought maybe I was going to use for a fruit. A lot of you did reply, but not many of you were right. Some of you went and clicked all of them so that it looked like you were right no matter what, and you were right if you clicked them all because you got the fruit that I'm going to be working with. But what color is my shirt? It's not orange. Maybe coming across as orange, maybe pink. I can't quite tell in this lighting, but it is peach, and that should give you a hint of what fruit I'm going to be making tonight. Hi, I see all your comments, and I think they're fantastic. I wish I could comment to you all, but if you have any personal questions for me, like maybe an item that I'm using that the girls don't quite know, like a tool, I will go back and reply and answer all those for you guys in a little bit after my video. So right now I'm going to get started with the fruit stand kit, not the fruit basket kit, and I'm going to show you what's new in this kit compared to the other kit. So close your eyes for a minute while I take you from my stand here to my stand above. Okay. All right, now I need to, unfortunately there's a lag time, and it's probably about 3 or 4 seconds, maybe a little longer than that when you're standing here waiting. And I just want to make sure that my camera is straight, that you guys can see all of the items that I have here. And I do feel like I could come a little bit closer for you so you'll have less of a glare. Let's see how that looks. Again, I have to wait for the lag to be fixed. But once it is fixed, then we will get started, and I'm going to try to get this cord out of the way so you guys don't have to watch my cord all night long. How about that? Those little tricky things like that when you're setting up for a video are always things that you forget. So my cord's out of the way. I'm a little closer, and I like that. I do, again, still have a bit of a glare. But once I move some of this stuff, hopefully that will change. So today, this is the fruit kit stand that I'm using. It has a different paper pad than the fruit basket kit. So if you have that already, this is full of items that you do not have. This has grapes. Look at the purple. That absolutely is amazing. And I do have an example of a card I made with purple that I'll show you at the end of this video. So then you've got pineapples, and oops, I used that one, and peachy colors and pink colors and rainbows and things you just can't pass up, I promise you. You get a stamp set included in this kit. You get all of these dies that are on this board. You get the 3 sets of foam for each card. So you could do 3 grapes, 3 shaker grapes, but of course you can do as many grapes as you want. So you'll get 3 shaker bananas, etc. And then we also have 3 plastic acetates that will go and be a part of your shakers. So you get 3 foams, 3 acetates for each fruit that we have to offer. So there's been some contemplating, or there's some questioning on the fruits, and I am going to help you a little bit here. I'm going to show you. So we have grapes, we have bananas and sliced bananas, we have strawberries, pineapples, sliced pineapples, raspberries, and cherries. And unfortunately, the cherries are a little too small of an item, the cherries themselves, so the innard white has to stay there, but it really doesn't matter. They still look like cherries once you get them in your hands, I promise you. But my favorite are these banana slices. These actually look like dried out banana chips that I absolutely love to eat, but warning, do not eat these items. So I'm going to put these aside. I'm using, like we talked about a few minutes ago, peach today, why I'm wearing a peach shirt, and I'm going to show you a card. We're going to put one together. So I'm going to set some of these things aside, and I want you to also see an item that I'm going to be using here tonight, and I think is really important. As a crafter myself, I really, really, really love the outline dies. They make it much easier to create shakers. They give you the entire base size. For example, let's move this grape. So if that is, I want to do a shaker grape, this is going to cut out the inside and the border that goes on top of the shaker. If I cut this out, it is just a solid grape, clump of grapes. So if I cut this out first, I can place my foam on top of that, and it will be a secure shaker for grapes. I hope that makes sense for you. Also, you can just cut out grape clusters in a solid like this and not do a shaker. You can stretch these dies so much further if you get the outline dies. I really recommend them, especially for bases, for your shakers. They really work wonders. And then, of course, once you get the fruit stand kit, you've got to get the solid colors. Each color is solid, dark, like a little bit darker on one side and a little bit lighter on the other. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So today, I am going to be using the peaches, like I told you. And I'm going to keep the dies out so you can see, and I'll try to show you what I'm going to do. For this card, it's going to be a little bit different. You know, my last video did a slimline card, because that's all the rage. Well, all the rage today, too, is coloring with, I don't know, what is it, the distress inks or inks in general, but I'm going to show you how you can take any ink that you have and kind of get the same look that we're going for here. Now, I already did a lot of inking beforehand. You can tell this was a creamy white piece of paper. Matter of fact, let me get out the original piece of paper for you to see in comparison to the color that it is a solid white, not a cream. So I've inked the edges here to get some dimension and depth, maybe, if that's the right word, into my card. So as gorgeous as this is just a technique that seems to be really popular today. So what I want to show you is how I got this out of this. So this is just a little peach that I cut with my outline peach die. I will not be using it on my card, but for all purposes, I'm going to, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to show you how I use this. You can use any dauber, any type of a brush that you have. These are just pretty because they kind of match what I'm doing. That's why I brought these out. But you can use daubers, those little bob finger thingies. What I do is I tap on my acrylic, what is this? This is like a little cooking mat type thing. And I just start to rub away from it and rub towards it. Do you see the yellow or the pretty orange coming on here? and I'm tapping it on my pad to remove the bulk of the color so it doesn't smear and get too dark. If I go to heavy, I can't take it away, but if I go light, I can add more to it. Okay, I'm going to show you this. So I'm not going to tap my brush. I'm just going to go right to my peach, drop it on, and then swirl. See what I did? So what you want to do is tap it on your brush and start brushing and bring it into your item. The reason I'm showing you this and what not to do is because I am going to show you, this whole card is going to be based on this, and if you wanted to give something new a try, well, I am going to encourage you to do that today. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I have a new, make sure you always wipe up your little mat, because if I were to touch it or bring something else into it, it will get dirty. So fortunately, I've already created a 5x5 card base. So I cut my cream paper 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I did back it with foam. You can see I have a boo-boo on my finger, so where I did as much as I could ahead of time. So I'm going to add this to the center of my page, or of my card base. Let's see if I can get this. Super simple, super easy. Always off a little bit for me, but I'm off anyway. So, and I did take some tape and I shut it, or some temporary tape I used to keep it closed while I was designing with it. Makes it a little bit easier for you to see and for me to work on for today. So let me grab my basket of goodies. The next step is I used some dyes, some foundation dyes. And I used foundation dye number 1. I went old school. And old school, I mean, I went back maybe 6 months to use these dyes. I can't remember how old they are. I know they're not old, but they are older compared to the new dyes that we have. But these are just classic. I highly recommend set number 1. It's really a fantastic set. You'll be able to use it repeatedly. My intent is to add this up here in the center. Now this is stark white, but remember and this is dirty now, but this is still stark white, my base paper, so it's okay to leave this uninked. But I came up with another idea. I've been seeing people doing this a lot, and I really liked it. So I cut thin stripes of some of my favorite papers, and that would match my card, and I just put them, let's see, cut them random widths. So I think I want it like this. I cut them random widths, and just the length of my paper, so they're 6 by 6. But I really wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to put these behind my circles that I'm going to have here. So I wanted to go here, but I think I might go a little bit at an angle because my card is less than 6 inches. It's a 5 by 5 card. So going at an angle is acceptable on this because I don't have to try to piece any papers together. It's the right size. So I'm just going to put these pre-cut strips but right up to each other. Whoops. And of course I've got some ink on there, or some adhesive on there. Just my finger to get it off, or use one of those erasers that you have. I know we all have them if we've been crafting any amount of time. So then I'm going to go here, and I want to put another one right up against it. So I'm trying to go in what would be an ombre order, or an order of what they would be on, say, a color wheel. So I'm trying to go dark, dark with the light, light, dark with the light, and then light again, so that it kind of goes in an order that would be natural on a, that would go naturally and look really beautiful. So I'm wondering if I didn't put that too high on my thing, but I did not. So my only thing that I have to do now is flip my card or use my scissors and just trim off these. And of course I've got to hold it up like this, sorry. You can maybe put this through your tape runner, or through your, what's it called, trimmer. But I am going to cut these off at the edge of the largest part of the card. I don't want them, maybe I'll change my mind, but right now I don't want them, what's the word? I don't want them cut even with the smaller piece of paper. I want them to go all the way out the width of my card. So I'll go ahead and attach my big circle, my big scallop circle, scallop. I think it depends on where you're from and if you're fancy or not. So I'm going to pretend to be fancy and say scallop, scallop, when really I say scallop. No, I say scallop. Fancy is scallop. So if you're fancy, if you say scallop, that means you're fancy. All right, and then I'm just going to put this in the center. I just think it completes that look. And it's tone on tone, but I think it completes the look of the scalloped circle. Okay, so I'm going to just get rid of this because that was the one I made a mistake, and I don't want to accidentally use that. So my next step here is to bring out the, I'm bringing out the guts of the grapes that I used, so in case I need to use that for something. But do you see these? Do you see these peaches? How I inked these peaches already? And you know what side I inked? The side that I want to look a little darker, because I want it to be the darker part of the fruit basket, or the darker side that is kind of laying the kind of like a shadow. And maybe I should have shadowed the other side. Who knows? But you know what? I shadowed this too. I used some temporary adhesive on the back of this, the peach that I'm going to use on my shaker, and you can see it's kind of sticking, and I inked this bottom edge here. And I did use 3 different colors. I want you to have random, I wanted to have random like peaches that would be all different colors, and people are sneezing in the background, and I almost automatically hollered out, bless you. Okay, so I'm just trying to see what placement I want. Do I want, yeah, I want the flatter ones up underneath, and then I think I want my shaker kind of right here on the bottom, right there. So what I did was I could have used the one that I just threw in the trash. This is why the outlines are so important, because this right here is going to be uneven, and I want to create my shaker before I even add it over there. So I am going, but I got this one too, so I might save this one to use later and use this trash one that I'm going to throw away. So I want to make sure that my outline of my foam is in the right direction. I will peel off the back. I will apply this down so that it is right in the center. And remember, as Tammy says, I think it's Tammy, she says, commit to the stick. And that is so true here. You definitely want to. This is just one of those buddies that has like cornstarch, I think, in it, just like the other tube that I've used before. It's just going to take the static away a little bit, hopefully. Okay, so now I'm going to put my inside of my peach inside of the peach. Now, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back over here for just a second. We're going to finish filling and making this a shaker in just a second. I want to get the placement for these down. I know I want this guy placed in this area, and then this guy, I don't know why I'm calling them guys. Peaches are beautiful. Maybe they should be females. Okay, so I'm going to kind of toss this one this way as well. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, and then my third colored peach will be on top. So those look good. So I'm going to stick those down. And I did also pre-cut some leaves, which I did the same effect with a green ink and the green brush. I just made the bottom edges darker with some green ink so it would look similar to a shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and add the leaf for this one. And I think I'm going to tuck this one under a little bit. Let's hope I didn't get too much adhesive there. And I probably did. So I have a sorry to reach over, a little lifter upper thingy that I swear everyone should have. And that's the wrong one. I'm going to add it in kind of at an angle. And then I want to get the next one. And I want to add this one in. Maybe a little straighter up. I can put them however I want. And then these little guys here, these stems are from right here. Now I could have chose a shorter stem, which probably is what I should have done, since these are so long. I should have, and I don't want them to show that much, so I should have selected the smaller stem, but you know what? I can insert this in and make it look very much like a peach. Let's see. But it is still, all right. Well, you know what else I can do too? Cut the end off so I don't have to insert it in so far, and get that back in there like so, in as far as I want. So of course you can use the shorter one, which I highly recommend, because this one is a little too long to get it stuck down in there since I've already added the adhesive. That's actually my fault for adding the adhesive already. So, all right, now let's get this one in here. Maybe I'll make this one a little longer, and that's okay. It's the stem from the peach tree. Now I want to add this. I think I'm going to have this added right in here. So let's put some adhesive on this. And I do want a strong adhesive. I am going to use double-sided tape for this one. I could use wet adhesive as well. And then I just want to make sure it's stuck down flat. Okay, and you know, I powdered the inside and before I even added my orange inside. So that was a little silly. So here are the options that I pulled out. Some of these are older, some of these are newer. These are pops that are different colored oranges. They may have been released in a different line. We had pops 1, 2, 3, and then we also have some confetti and some gems. So I know I want to, in fact, include some gems in here. Now I do tend to go heavy on the embellishments, but you know, I like it. And I chose to put in 2 different colored pops for the fact that I have 3 different colored peaches. And not all peaches are the same color. Maybe one's more ripe than the other. I'm going to give that a little swirl. And then I'm going to add some confetti. Just a few pieces. Not too much on this, because I don't want them to be too, well, maybe I need a little more. Now, well, see that? That happens too. And it gave me the perfect amount of confetti that I wanted. So there you have it. Okay. I'm going to shake that so it kind of goes flat, and I'm going to add my acetate. But before I do, I want to make sure my acetate is in the proper direction. Now that's backwards. I want to make sure that it, whoops, now I said that one was backwards. Now I don't know if I have it right this time or backwards again. I think this is the proper way. And I will tell you, there is a front and a back to these fruits, like a proper direction for these fruits. I highly recommend you know which it is before you get started, because I did a grape card and I had them put on the wrong side. I put it backwards, so then I had to flip my border around, and I'm okay with that, but some people may not be. So then commit to the stick and let that go down. And I did not commit quite as quick as I should have, and I've got a gem right in the way, so I'm gonna you could use scissors, whatever type of tool you have, to slide right in there and get that out of there. And I'm gonna go back in one more time, try to flatten that guy so my entire acetate lays flat. The next step would be to add my leaf, because I want my leaf to be raised up with the foam, not flat down on the paper. So I'm going to add this one in like so. So I've got my leaf. I'm going to trim down my stem that I've already told you is a little long because of my mistake. And then I'm going to add some or add that in there, but I don't want to go too low because I want it to hide behind my border of the peach. This is cut from the die that is right from the kit. So this is the die cut that's included in your kit. This is how you make your shaker. The other piece that I used before, which is the outline die, is just such a great addition to the shakers. You can build on them. You can use them as solid shapes like I did here. These are large. These are the large outline die peaches. If I were to have used this peach here, I would have got this center cut out and then this border. I could tape them together from the back and hide that it's two pieces, but it sure is nice and clean with those outline dies. But you can go either way, you know, depending on if you think it'll work for you or not. So again, I'm a mixer for toppings, and I know Ginger is. Man, she can make some really beautiful concoctions. So I recommend that you give mixing a go. You can practice in a little bowl or something, and then you can change your mind, separate them yourself, and look at me trying to do two things at once. You can separate them back out if you didn't like it, put them back in the bowls, or do however you like. So for this step, I want to give you a little tip. I have a Misty. Many of you card makers do. And you may have an older Misty, a newer Misty. I was convinced to get this Misty, and then soon as I did, a new Misty came out. So what I did here, and I want to show you clearly what I did here. Okay, so this is the piece of paper that I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. And this right here is the sentiment I chose. I hope you peel better soon. I think that's the one I wanted. I want the long, skinny one. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, I hope you peel better soon. You can use any sentiment you want. You could do thanks a whole, you could really use any of these. Hello, sweet friend. It's a peach, it's fruit, it's sweet. So we're gonna use this one. And I wanna use the die that comes with the new foundation set number 7, and it's a banner. How fun is that? Well, I could stamp this straight sentiment, but it won't fit inside my banner. So what I did was I went ahead, out of cheap paper, I made a stencil. So I'm going to add my stencil to the bottom corner of my Misty, right on my paper, anywhere I want. And then I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to put my sentiment across, right side up and across. Let me see, make sure I get this right. It's hard to read backwards. Okay, so when it prints down, it's gonna, I put it printing down. So right here is the center of my sentiment, or I feel it's pretty close to the center of my sentiment. The reason I am using a Misty is because now I will be able to stick this to my Misty. I'll be able to pick it up. Now I can't, whoops. Now I can adjust this each side. Can you see this okay? I'm wondering if you can see on that paper. Let's see. Maybe this will help. I'm trying to curve my pieces to go along with the banner that I want to use. So let's see. I'm turning down both sides. Let's see how well I did. I don't think it's right. Okay, so I went down too far on this one, but that one looks pretty good. So I'm going to take it back out. I'm going to raise this one back up. And the grid lines on the Misty make it much, much easier as well. And then, you know, you can loosen it a little to try to stop it from bending so drastically. But now, when I stamp this, this will be exactly in the place where it needs to be for me to have it within my banner, right? Does that make sense to you? So I'm going to open up my Misty. I'm going to take my ink. I'm going to ink my, whoops. And I've got ink everywhere. You can tell I'm a little excited today. And then I'm going to make sure, push. Look at that. So I do not have to double stamp, although a Misty is really good for double stamping. But these stamps stamp so clearly that you don't have to double stamp unless you've got a dry ink. So now that should teach you how you can use these sentiment banners with long sentiments. Instead of cutting your dies, you can actually use your banners and use the, cutting your dies, but cutting your stamps. You can use your banner and keep it right where you want to keep it. So I'll take my stencil away, and maybe I'll store that where I store all my dies. And again, that was foundation set number 7. Put that paper away. That was just for you to see. And I'm going to show you now. I am going to place I'm going to place my banner over the top. I've never really cut with you guys before, so this is exciting. I'm going to place my banner exactly where I want it to be. I can use some washi tape. I can use some purple tape to keep that in place, whatever. However, it seems to be staying very well where I want it to be. So I'll run it through my machine and then get rid of my machine real quick so we can keep going. And your banner is cut out perfectly, and I can use this for the next stencil if I want to, and it's a little bit thicker quality. A good idea. I'm going to keep that. All right, so then I take this and get rid of these guys. Let's finish our card. I do want foam tape, and I think if you've watched me before, you know I like one pair of scissors for anything that's sticky. So I'm going to cut a piece of foam tape that I think will fit behind here nicely. If you take the back off of your foam tape, it will bend a little bit more for you. It's kind of like the stamp set that we just did. So now it's more movable if you remove it. And then I'm going to add our sentiment right down here at the bottom. I think that looks pretty good. I think originally I intended to have my peaches up more. I don't know what I was thinking today, but I still like how it turned out. And then of course you can add these two. These come with that foundation set. And I'm just going to add my little, make it look like a waving banner. And I did drop it down a little bit so it does look like it's underneath. So there we go, a little bit underneath, and attach it. And now my sentiment is complete. And this is, there's several banners. I want to say 3 or 4 banners maybe that are with this set number 7. So I need to keep those where I don't lose them. So I'm going to put them back in my little bowl. I try to keep things organized. It doesn't always happen. And the only bling I brought out for today was the orange posies. I absolutely love these. And I wanted to give orange little petite posies. And I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of dimension or some bling up here to the top. You can do anything you want to do. If you want to add some flowers, like our fun flowers or whatever, you feel free to do whatever you would like. I think I'm gonna add one right down here, and another one right over here. I know I could add more, but I don't want to. I like the fact that I have made a fruit bowl for you. I've used bling, I've used both sets of dies, I've used some ink, of course I've used adhesive, and I've used 4 different toppings inside of my shaker. So now I would just take my, where's my fun eraser? I know you all have this. You must. It's so old and so yucky. So I'm just going to open up my card, erase all of that temporary adhesive off of camera, and then my card is set and ready to go. I love it. And I can see a fruit bowl with random different fruits. You can maybe add some cherries. You can, I don't know, do so many things. But I also made a grape card just the other day. Look how cute this came out. But you know what I dug out? when I saw the grapes, all I could think of was jelly and jam, and I really wanted to do the jar. So I grabbed the jar die from the Love Jar kit, and I made a jar. And this was before outline dies, so I did create my jar out of vellum. And if you look really close, you can see it's 2 pieces. But if you don't look close, you have no idea. So I just used some of the fun flowers here, which maybe I should grab an orange and use a fun flower on this page too. What do you think? Let's grab one. Let's see if we like it. We could add peachy. Oh, that's cute. Or I could do a smaller. What do you guys think? Should we add, oops, I can't get it out with my thumb. Here we go. What if we added 2 or a clump of, this one's a little, I like this one or this one. What do you think? Looking to see what, oh, love them. See, everybody likes them. I just don't know which one to add. I can't help it. I love this big guy. So I am going to get a glue dot or the glue that comes with, what are they called? Yeah, gloopers. That can come with like the pom-poms. Maybe if you have some of those left over, you could use those. But I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to just kiss my flower right to the glue dot, and then I'm going to add it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't want it up there. I'm going to add it to my peach. And now I'm done. My card is complete. I think it's adorable. I could add more lollies, more details. I could have raised my peaches up higher. I love it. I really do. So if you want to get dirty, you can try this technique, or you could go completely clean, do the same card without any dirty techniques, like a mixed media type techniques. But look at this leaf for this clump of grapes. Isn't that fabulous? So anyway, I hope you enjoy the fruit stand kit as much as I do. I highly recommend you go check it out. It is fruit stand kit, not fruit basket kit, although that one's pretty darn awesome too. So go check them both out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this evening, and those of you who have missed it can watch it on replay, and I will share my cards with you tomorrow. Have a good night.